welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I thought that I would finally give you guys an update as to how the Hobonichi Weeks has been working for me in 2024. I have been using Hobonichi Weeks for the past 4 years. However, I feel like I finally found my sweet spot. Last year's Hobonichi Weeks, I wasn't really a big fan of. I tried to do a lot more of like a minimal aesthetic, and it just didn't really work out for me. So I feel like this year I've finally figured out my sweet spot in the Hobonichi Weeks, and I finally figured out how to make the back pages work the best for me. I'm gonna flip through the whole thing and just kind of talk to you about how it's been going and share with you all of my pages. So if that's of any interest to you, I hope that you stick around. Before we get started, I just wanted to say my name is Jay. On this channel, I tend to create a lot of planner related content, and I would love to have you back. Feel free to like and subscribe. It'd mean the world to me. And without further ado, I think that's all I have to say. Let's just hop right into it. So this is my Hobonichi Weeks for 2024. I am currently using it in a clear cover. I realized pretty recently that I really like using my Pilot Vanishing Point fountain pen inside of my Hobonichi Weeks with the Diatramentis archiving. However, whenever I put my planner in any sort of like leather cover, there's something about the way that it potentially changes the way that I write. I just simply never like my handwriting with the vanishing point when my planner is in some sort of cover that's thicker in any way than this clear cover. So I've just been rocking a clear cover since November, which is very unlike me, but it's been working really well. I've been really enjoying it actually. And I got this little band that Hobonichi sells, and it sits in the back pocket of the clear cover, and you're able to still close the clear cover because the clear cover itself doesn't come with its own closure. So that's how I've kind of dealt with that issue. So let's just hop into it. I think I'm just gonna flip through and talk. Okay, so this is what the inside cover of my weeks looks like. I simply have put some deco in and around here. I've got a picture of the dog. I've got one of my favorite little girls from Show Little Happiness, and then I've got like an if found card that has like my personal information back here. And then in here, I've just kind of like tucked some stuff. The doctor said I can no longer have Tylenol, so I wrote a note about that, some cash, some extra sticky notes, doctor's appointment card. I've just been like tucking stuff in here. So yeah, this front cover is never really a super functional space for me. It's always kind of served as a more decorative space, and I do quite enjoy this. In here, this is like the title page, I guess. I've just got some sticky notes in here where I can jot notes down if needed, and again, it's more of a decorative space. So this is the yearly overview, and in here I use these little mini tiny dots from Papery Planning just to mark my paydays. I stuck down a big sticker over here from Sterling Ink to simply mark down cover 2023, because there won't be a scenario in which I'll need to see that calendar. And then I have a sticky note here that just has some long-term projects that I want to do sometime throughout the year. I haven't assigned any timeline on them or anything, but just a place to jot down that stuff. This is the year-long tracker. I haven't figured out how I'm going to use this. In the past, I have used this successfully for weight, but I have a separate planner that I have all of my health-related stuff in, so I don't know how else I would necessarily use this. If you have any ideas, feel free to let me know down below, because I'm definitely, I'd love to make use of it, but for now, it's just chilling. This is my December monthly, and all of my monthlies look very similar to this. My monthlies are very simple. I've never really used my monthlies in like a very intensive way. This year though, I started putting highlights down at the bottom, which I really like, and I do think I might include all of my reading behavior perhaps in the monthlies just to have it be more functional, and I definitely have like room to do that. So like when I start a new book and finish a book, perhaps I'll start using the monthlies to mark that down, but so far I'm just using them for like special dates, holidays, and events, and I don't do a whole lot, so they're quite empty. But that was December, this is January, and then this is February, March, and then I don't have anything else past April. I just know I have to do blood work at the end of April. And then they're all pretty blank. I did go ahead and put in all of the holidays and stuff, and I put washi down for every month because I wanted to use some of my decorative washi this year. So every month has some sort of decorative washi that's already been laid down. But those are all of my monthlies. And then this is the first weekly. So this is the week of November 27th, 2023, and it's the first week that December starts. And essentially how I use my weeks, how I've been using my weeks, is I draw a line here in the middle to separate this big horizontal block. Over here, I'll put things that happened, big things in the day, events, stuff like that. And then over here is like smaller to-dos. And then over here, I tend to track my work. And then over here is just like a week-long running to-do list. And this layout has always worked for me. But last year, aesthetic-wise, I was doing it in a very minimal way. And this year, I brought back my decorative stickers, and I couldn't be happier. I've been loving being creative in this planner. And it's also been really functional because I've felt like more engaged with it in general. So I've been really, really enjoying my spreads, and it's been so nice. I even like planned the week of Christmas, which never happens. That is always like an empty week in my planner, but I like had my planner, I was carrying it with me, and I was using it. And that has continued on throughout all of January. Of course, I have days where I don't do much, or I have days where I'll be doing things, but it's not things that I previously wrote down. Like throughout the day or when I get home sometimes, I'll be like, oh, I should do this. But I don't feel the need to like pre-plan that or put it in my planner. So I'll have empty days. Sometimes it means I didn't do anything. Sometimes it means I did do something but didn't think it was notable enough to then come in and write it down after the fact. So that's why some of the days are empty. And then some days I have to-dos, but no really like special notable thing I want to write down. But yeah, I've been loving this so much. And this is the pencil board I'm using. It's the same art that's on the front cover of this planner. I've been using a lot of Opal and Fern stickers, which is like my favorite shop to get like journal style stickers. And if you're interested in this spread, I did do a plan with me on my Instagram. It was like a quick reel. It was the last reel I uploaded, in case you're interested in that. I do use these index tabs, by the way. The first one takes me to the current month that I'm on. This one takes me to the week that I'm on. And then this last one takes me to the daily pages, which we'll get to. But those are all of the weeks. I haven't planned out next week at all yet. And then I've just tabbed all of the months off, and that takes me then to this olive green tab, which takes me to my goals page. So this page is essentially where I've written down my top 10 goals of the year. Some of these goals are pretty big goals that I've then broken down into smaller goals. And to do my goal planning this year, I actually used the Sterling Ink method. I first did it in my B6 Common Planner, but since I've decided I'm probably not going to be using that at all this year, I then did it in the number 2 size, which is the Hobonichi Weeks size monthly booklet. It's a TN insert, and essentially it has all of the same goal planning sheets. And I did all my goal planning in this booklet. But these are like the big overarching goals. But some of them are really big, and I just want to note that they have been broken down in another place that I check in with periodically at the beginning of the month. But this is just a general overview of my goals. So there's 1 through 10. And then we go into my back pages. So this first one is my cycle, and I'm just tracking that. This page was supposed to be like an adulting log, but I realized that like I don't really need it. Like that just feels like an additional thing. I don't actually think it would be beneficial for me. And if it's not beneficial for me, I've learned that I don't keep up with it. I might have all the best intentions, but I will not keep up with it if I don't actually find it effective and useful and helpful. And I didn't think I would find it to be useful and helpful. So I've just started a running log of the travel fund that I've recently started, because in my savings account it's just a savings account, but I want to make sure that I'm also denoting what portion of that is specifically for the travel fund, what portion of that is specifically for the emergency fund, and what portion of that is specifically for other kinds of savings. So I just started one for the travel fund. And then on this page, I am tracking my entire low buy Project Pan stuff for 2024. So one of my goals, which I wrote it down as makeup no buy, but upon further reflection, I realized that I don't want to do a no buy, I want to do a low buy. So here are the rules for said makeup low buy, and over here is when where I'm tracking every month that I've adhered to the rules. And then over here, if I have used any of the money that I've set aside for me to spend on cosmetics, I'm tracking when I made the purchase, how much it was, and then how much is remaining in that year-long pot of money. So that's where I'm tracking all of that. And then over here, I'm tracking my Project Pan stuff, which if you are not familiar, Project Pan is essentially when you are continually trying to finish or hit pan on a specific cosmetic item. In my case, I think you can do it with other kinds of items in your life, but I'm specifically talking about makeup. As someone who has a rather large makeup collection, it's really easy for me to use a different blush every day, and then I would never be able to actually finish any. So Project Pans are just a way for you to kind of prioritize a specific product, potentially one that might be clean beauty that you know is going to expire soon, or one that you may not be a fan of anymore and you want to finish it as opposed to just declutter it or throw it away. So I have a couple of products in my Project Pan right now. I was doing the Westman Atelier Contour Stick and Truffle, which I actually do like that product, but it just expired on me last week. So I put a D because I ended up decluttering it. But the Chanel Cream Blush and the Victoria Beckham Lip Gloss are both in my Project Pan, and then this sticky note just has some things that I also think I might want to add in. So yeah, that is my low buy Project Pan overview. And then here's where I'm tracking some YouTube stuff. Again, bare bones, minimal tracking. I'm not great at tracking, so my goal this year was to set up back pages that specifically only gave me the information that I thought I would need. And this is as simple as it gets. I'm simply putting down how many videos I uploaded in the month, and if any of them were sponsored. And then if they were sponsored, the date of the specific video that was sponsored. And that's it. That's all I'm tracking. Everything else I can pull from my YouTube studio, from my analytics. If I'm talking about the amount of a payment from a sponsorship, I can pull it off my PayPal. I don't need to write it down because I know I won't write it down. It doesn't make sense to set something up that I know I most likely will not follow through with. So that's the YouTube tracker. And then over here, I just have a page to put any sort of content ideas. If there is a video that you would like to see from me, make sure to leave it down below and I will add it to the list. Next, I've got my to be read and my reading log, and then this sticky note also has my reading goals. So I use Goodreads and I have a wildly long TBR on Goodreads. This TBR, this handwritten one, are like the books that I really want to read that I've almost purchased at the store that keep reoccurring in my mind, so much so that like I feel like I want to write them down. So there's only been 2 so far that this year where I'm like, yeah, I really, really want to get that. And it's mainly the books, well, only the books that are on this physical TBR. I shouldn't have used the word physical. The books that I write down in my planner on my TBR are books that I don't already physically own. If I physically own them, they're already in essence on my TBR list. But for example, The Bride by Ali Hazelwood just came out on February 6th. So all of December and January, I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to read that one. That one sounds really interesting. It sounds like a modern Twilight, and it essentially is. It's actually pretty good. I'm halfway through it. But that's the reason why I wrote it down, because I know I didn't own it. I didn't want to forget it. I knew that I would 100% want to read it. And First Lie Wins, I've almost purchased 3 times at the bookstore. But I feel like I need to get through some of the books that are already on my shelf before I let myself buy that one. So all of that to say, it's like it's like a different caliber of wanting to read the book that actually makes it to the TBR in my Hobonichi Weeks. I really hope that made sense. But then this is my reading goals for the year. I originally wrote down that I wanted to read 16 books. I've upped it to 20. I have a feeling, though, if I continue reading at the rate that I have been, I will read more than 20 books. But I'm not upping it anymore because at a certain point, it's really not about the numbers for me. Like, I just want to read, and I don't want to set, like, a goal of 50 books for the year. And by the end, like October, November, December, I start intentionally choosing shorter books so that I can hit my reading goal number. That's not what it's about. So 20 books for the year. And then I set some other goals, some genre-specific goals, some author-specific goals, and then specific books that I want to read for the year. And it's been going pretty well. I did read a fantasy. I actually read 3. I read the Folk of Air series by Holly Black, and I really enjoyed it. And I've read 1 classic, and I think after I finish The Bride by Ali Hazelwood, I think I might start A Little Life. I think. And then here, I have my Christmas gift list. So this is a spot that's going to have my 2024 Christmas gifts. I never leave a spot for this. So I've left out a spot for it. And then what I pulled up was all of the Christmas gifts and stuff that I gave people in 2023 because I was using this planner in December of 2023. So I've just stuck it in there in case I want to reference it for next year. But this is specifically what I'll use. Not next year, this year. This is specifically what I'll use to track and plan out and figure out 2024 Christmas gifts. This is my personal wish list. I'm budgeting this year for the first time in my life. It's going really well. And I'm using like a digital platform to track it all and everything. But I found a wish list so helpful. Like there's been a couple of times where I'm just like, yeah, I should get that. Or like, yeah, I need that. And I'm like, no, I'm going to put it down on the wish list and then I'll revisit it in a little bit. And more often than not, I no longer want the thing. So some of these things, though, I know I do need. Like, I know that eventually I have to get a new hairbrush, but I want, like, a really nice quality, like, boar bristle one. And I only use that kind of brush when my hair is straightened, and I don't straighten my hair that often. So it's just been, like, a purchase that I don't want to spend the money on it. But I know I'm going to need to eventually. I just put it on the wish list. I was like, I don't want to buy it now, so I put it on the wish list. I know I'm going to need a black sweatsuit, like a tracksuit, because I went to go put on like my black sweatpants the other day and I just know that they're like not in the best condition. Again, old me, I just would have been like, oh, my sweatpants aren't in a great condition, let me go buy a new pair. But I'm like, no, I don't need it right now. I'll put it on the wish list. I know it will be an incoming thing that I buy, but I don't need it now, so it's on there. So it's just a place for me to put all of the things that swirl through my head. And also, like, because I've been budgeting, I haven't wanted to participate in shopping habits. Like, you know, like, for example, if you need a new pair of shoes, I would like a new pair of white shoes for work, ones that look, like, more sleek, that aren't specifically, like, to the gym shoes, you know? But anyway, I know I need a new pair of those. I just don't want to spend the money on them right now. And I haven't even let myself start like the researching and comparison shopping process. It's just exhausting. I just don't want to do it. So it's been nice because there's been a couple of things where it's like, okay, I know I need to buy that, but for now, I'm just going to put it on the wish list because either 1, I don't feel like doing that comparison shopping type thing, or 2, I'm not in the best mind space. And I actually think that if I start participating in those shopping habits, I might actually make a purchase that isn't as well thought through as I want. So wish list for the win. I might run out of room. That's the only problem. So that leads me to this spread. So this spread I left open because one of my goals this year is to take the LSAT. I really want to go to law school. I graduated school 2 or 3 years ago, and I've been working as a court reporter for over a year. I've gotten great experience. I've learned so much information. I'm so happy that I didn't go straight out of my undergrad and into law school, because I feel like I've gathered so much knowledge and like in court experience being a court reporter. But I'm at the point now where like I feel like I have gotten from the job what I'm going to get, you know, in relation to me going forward with my career. Like there's not a whole lot of things that I can say I haven't done that position would ever allow me to do. So I feel like I'm really at a place where it's like, okay, let's get the ball rolling to the next step. And the next step is the LSAT, which then takes me to law school. So part of 2024, I really want to take the law school admissions test, the LSAT. So I left this spread open. All of that to say, I left this spread open because I thought at some point I will probably want some sort of like LSAT tracker or place to like keep information related to the study process of that and the test taking process of that. I don't know what that tracker or what that information is going to look like or how much space I'm going to want. So I left 2 pages. But if I can condense it all down to 1 page, then I can let my wish list flow over onto this page. I'm just not sure. We'll see. And then there's always like sticky notes I can add on if the wish list is continually ever growing. So yeah. Anyway. Anyway, next we get into my last tab, which is a black tab, and this takes me into my monthly dashboards. So I have been successfully doing monthly tracking for over 2 months now. Who am I? I never thought I would ever, but it's been going really well actually. So I'm only tracking like a handful of things, and it's been going great. And then on the right hand side of the page, I've been doing like a budget overview. It's nowhere near in depth as the digital budgeting things that I'm doing, but I knew that I would want like something that just kind of encapsulates some of the information in my physical planner. So I've been writing down all the information on the actual page, and then I've been using these bigger sticky notes to plan for the month forward, what I think things are going to look like. And then I put like the actual things that happened on the physical page for that month, if that makes sense. So for example, in February, I've got my February budget stuff all down on this page. And then in this sticky note, eventually I will do a rough idea of how I think March is going to shake out. It just gives me a spot just to jot some stuff down. But that's essentially what I've been doing and how I've been using these back pages. I've set up these back pages all the way through December. I used the Sterling Ink 2023 monthly collections because I had the subscription from last year and I just had so many stickers left. So I went ahead and set it up, because another thing with me is that if it is not set up in advance, I probably won't set it up in time. Okay, and then last but not least, the rest of my back pages I am leaving for dailies. As you can see, I don't use dailies all that often. I haven't been. I've either been using a notepad, which has been fine by me, or I simply haven't been needing more room than the weekly provides. Like, I just haven't, I just haven't needed more room. And it's been working great. I was a little nervous because all of my like information and monthly dashboards took me up to page 36 or page 37 of the notes pages, and there's only 73 notes pages left. So I was quite nervous that I wouldn't have enough for the whole year, but based on my usage thus far of dailies, I think I'm going to have more than enough. So I don't think it's going to be an issue actually. All of these back Hobonichi pre-printed pages I haven't used. I was going to use this to jot down the movies I watched this year. I've watched a number of movies, most of which I can't remember the names of, and I never filled them in. That means I will not fill them in. I can just get rid of that now. I never use these back pages. I'm not even going to fuss with them. I don't care. This back section here has, again, like some more sticky notes. And then in here, in this sticky pocket, I've gone ahead and put some of the things that I foresee myself using. So I think I'm going to use this in the yearly overview to like stick down on the months that have passed. And then these are the little headers that I'm using on the daily pages to separate each of the months. And then this is a little thing of tabs from Clark & Cord that I might want to use. But I'm just keeping all of these things together and actually in the physical planner, because there's been times where I have chosen a specific font and script and sticker that I'm going to use for a thing throughout the entirety of a year, and then at some point in the year I've misplaced the stickers, and then everything doesn't match and it drives me nuts, or I have to start a new sheet, which drives me nuts. So all of these stickers that I will need to like update my planner throughout the year, unlike those bigger yearly spreads, are physically located in my planner. And then this last thing, I have some stickers. These guys are from Oakland Fern. This one's from Jamie Page's Doodle Shop. And then this is from Planner Monkey Co. And I have some more sticky notes. And then back here, I have a couple of things. Let me see. So in the pocket here, I have some notepad paper, the Coffee Monsters Co. General Sampler for the holidays, planner spots, doodle bows, papery planning mini check marks, planner spot exclamation points, and the mini bows. And then on like in this back pocket here, I had an extra piece of Coffee Monsters Co. notepad paper, some balloon stickers from the planner spot, papery planning phrases, and then in here I have some emoji heads on a piece of reusable repositionable sticker paper. And this is if I just want to put something down in my planner and I want something decorative but I'm not at home. So I use this actually quite frequently, and then I'll go in and refill the empty spots. I really like having this. This came out of one of the Passport Travelers Company repositionable sticker sheets. I literally undid the staples and took the first piece of paper out and then repressed in the staples. This is where this is from, and it's great. I really like it. And then I've got these little arrow stickers, which is just another cute little way to add deco. And that is everything. So this is everything in my Hobonichi Weeks that I've been carrying around with me and using so far this year, and I've been absolutely loving it. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this planner. It's working really, really well for me. I know that I have always gotten along with the weeks, but my love for the planner has varied throughout the years. Like, I know that the setup works for me and the layout works for me, but then how I choose to make it my own has varied throughout the years, if that makes sense. Like, this layout intrinsically works to me. It makes sense to my brain. But then how I choose to decorate and specifically utilize the page has changed throughout the years. And this one just feels like home. I'm having so much fun, and it's also been super functional, and I'm just really loving it. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope that you had as wonderful a time as I did. Let me know down below how your planners are working out for you. Are you still in the same planners that you started off the year with? Have you made a shift or a change? And if so, why? I'd love to hear all of the details down below. And I just want to say thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.